Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Curse of the Crimson Throne. Wow, last week you guys had a very exciting time. Oh no, my squishy heads are not back here. Oh, I'm gonna have to go get them eventually. Sorry, I have little squishy heads on my desk that I play around with when I'm DMing because my hands always need to do something and I haven't unpacked them yet. Um, Last session, fun. Lots of fun. Lots of information. Lots of stuff happened. Anyone want to do a recap? There's lots to cover. What? What a surprise. Oh, okay. Sure. Sib, let's do it. I'm sorry, Laura. You have been voted off the island. Uh, yes, please, Sib. Did you guys see that? She's so nice. She's so sweet. Even when she's taking over, she tries to make Laura feel like she's a part of it. Please, by all means, sister. What do you mean he wasn't being truthful? All right. Okay. I mean, you got a lot of it. Everyone went in there. Everyone came out with the mark of the Thrall Keeper, with the exception of Shala. All right. I am going to do something with you guys. Well, first of all, congratulations. Well done. Inspiration Sib. I'm moving you all over to here because I'm going to start doing this a different way now. You see this thing? It says respect points, yes? I am going to be keeping a tally of respect points on this chart. This will tally up all the respect points you've earned so far. And if you do something to lose respect points, I will simply subtract them from here. This way, you guys as a party will not necessarily know when... Well, I'll tell you when you gain them because that's fun, but I won't tell you exactly when you lose them. You'll just have to keep track of this and try and figure out how and why and if you lost them. Make sense? So, I believe, I could be wrong on this because I'm a little scatterbrained, but I believe you got 1 respect point for Ross's backstory, being a member, or not a member of the Shoanti, but at least a member of the Linqua tribe. 3 respect points for defeating Krojan. Well done, Rhea. 3 respect points for getting the Mark of the Thrall Keeper. I did tell you guys that last session, did I not? Good. And then I believe I'm missing one, right? Yes, that's right. I gave you points for Wicked Claw, which I believe was 3 points, yes? Let me look at my notes. And Mary Honey gave her 1. So then there's... that right. It was 2 for Wicked Claw, 1 from Mary. That's why. Okay, I'm looking at my notes now. I said 3. Not a respect point for the Shoanti, no. More like respect points for Ash Dancer. Like, it's nice. She likes that he was like that, but it's not like all Shoanti everywhere were like, hey, that draw was really nice to Ash Dancer. So that's 1, 3, 3, 3 again. So that is 13 minus 1. So you guys are currently at 12 respect points. I am just going to, what I will do is from now on, I will just add. So like if you earn 1 more, I'll just add a +1 here, right? In fact, let me make this a different color. If you lose some for whatever reason, I will add a number in red to subtract it. And I'll tell you what, we'll end every session. Remind me if I forget, but we'll end every session here so that over the week you guys can look at it if need be. Make sense? Good, good. So that's that. Well done again for the recap. And we're going to start the session off right where it ended. Which was you guys earned the 3 respect points. Or technically speaking, you will earn them once Krojan spreads word of your deeds, right? But for our intents and purposes, you have earned them. But you are all still in this room. Murray, you stepped out a few seconds ago, having witnessed what you did about Mallow. What are you guys doing? Do you have anything left to do down here? No? Everyone's done with the sphere? No one wants to go back in? Explore? I mean, no one's stopping you. Why? Murray did it twice. Just keep in mind, you could die. Just putting that out there. Robin, you want to go in again? Let's shove Shala in there. How about ISO? Okay, but for real, what are you guys doing? What's the next step? What's happening? You have a room that has minor illusions cast on the walls to make it look like you're standing in the middle of space and stars all around you. You have the orb that looks like a very detailed replica of Galarian, or the way it looked at least 10,000 years ago, and it is being held up by three immovable rods. Uh, Amelia, I did tell you last time with your Arcana check, they are just simply immovable rods. You know how they work. There's a button you press on them that deactivates them, I guess you could say, and makes it so that you can move them. And you press the same button to activate them and make them unmovable. Mm-hmm. You hear a laughter from around Amelia's shoulders. Yes, because you guys never walk into other people's places and change things or ruin them or mess with them. No, that's never happened before. Or are you saying that the Thrall Keepers are paragons of virtue? He just grins at you, wraps his arms around Amelia. Triana actually raises a hand. All right, so just so I'm clear, at no point in the future are we to loot any of the places we go to? Because I don't really understand how this is different. And those are really valuable. You see Triana's like eyeing the immovable rods. No, we're not. We're invaders. Aren't we invaders everywhere we go? No, I get that. That's why I'm just trying to find out my grounds here. So, no more pillaging or plundering anywhere. I don't know what that means. And she's like looking really confused. I'm a thief. That's what I do. I just need to make sure that I don't know what's going on here. Why? But I get, I'm so confused. Isn't that what we do? And like she's like looking around helplessly. Ah, oh, this is a thing about the Shawanti. Got it. So no Shawanti places. But this isn't a Shawanti place? She still looks very confused. Actually, no. Let me be fair to her. Poor Triana. Let me be fair to Triana. Let's take a look at her wonderful intelligence. She seems to kind of get it. She nods. Got it. This place is important. Creepy, dangerous, and has a monster that could destroy everything, but important. Triana will shrug and follow Robin. I should note the entire time Krojan has been looking on impassively. Uh, by the way, I should mention, Robin, Triana, as she goes, she is pulling things out of her pockets and leaving them on the ground. Little bits of white like stone here, little jade things there. Obviously, things that must have been missed or not picked up that apparently she has been pocketing this entire time. I mean, you're right there, right? Yeah, she's not hiding it. She just looks kind of sad and forlorn. I what? Okay, I'm really confused now. Are we hiding things from them? Look, I'm a thief, but I have limits. Triana just looks, she's like spins around a couple of times, not sure what to do now. She, uh, she nods and she goes, well, I mean, sure. I suppose that you could sell a keepsake or a memory. Pockets it. Um, though I will say, I mean, Triana's never been one to ask for payment. This seems to be more of a just the way she is kind of thing. um, the rest of you back in the other room. What's going on? What you doing? Staring on impassively. He is. I don't know. You can roll me an insight check if you want. Ooh. Yeah, you did. He is staring on impassively. He hasn't said anything or done anything, though you will note that there was a small, very hard to detect moment of panic when there was talk of taking or disturbing things in this room. But it was very slight and very quickly gone. I mean, like, it's kind of impressive. They're not really valuable, but there's a hefty amount of tiles and stones and things like that. Like a breadcrumb trail. All right, you guys carry them out of the room, and Crojan follows behind you. Actually stops at one of the particularly pretty looking tiles, picks it up, puts it in his gear, and keeps walking. You all start making your way back up the elevator. Okay. Uh, I will move things on along a little bit as you have all been fairly quiet. You have not awoken up any more tentacles, so there's a very quiet and maybe somewhat tense walk out of the Acropolis, and I will take you all back to the main map. When hmm? What do you mean? Yeah, no, he's following. I mean, I'm sure you could make it so that there's room or time. I mean, turn a corner or something. Sure, he's following you guys, but he's not dogging you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh, roll me oof, what would that be? Roll me a. We don't have like a tinker check for you. We have something close, right? Roll me your tinker kit check. Yeah, yeah. Do that one. Roll a check for that. All right. I mean, it's possible. You're not going to be able to do it perfectly, and even if you did it, it'd take you 11 to 12 hours to meticulously, because you would have to put them all in there, you would have to set them, you would have to find a way to seal them without damaging them. It's a lot easier to pry them out than it is to put them back in. You could do it, it would take time. Sure. Yeah, sure. Um, I would be having you make noise checks every single hour to see if you woke up more tentacles. But I mean, if you were quiet. Um, you could have knocked the statue over. Okay. I love this. I'm all for it. Let's do it. No, this is not. This is a life-size statue. Uh, give me a second. Give me a second. I want to see something here. um, yeah. So as you are doing that, you suddenly hear a noise, and you see Crojan at the door, and he's like watching this display, and he's like, "Why? You don't want?" He nods, and he will walk past you and start scooping them up. They are valuable, and starts putting them in his pocket. He likes shinies. He looks at you. Those who made this place are long dead. Their ancestors have passed on. You are afraid of ghosts. He looks around. Seen by who? He just shakes his head and starts walking away, mumbling something about Shemix. Sorry, he rolled really bad. He likes shinies. And it seems that whatever his beefs were certainly wasn't with taking things from here. There must have been something else involved. Like from your insight check, I'll just let you know that part. But yep. So all of you head out of the Acropolis. All right. Out of the Acropolis. And as you all leave, Crojan comes up behind. You're all welcome to roll a perception check if you want to. Behind you. Or do you stay there? I mean, he has the gems. Do you have a reason to stay, or? Oh, Ross, you don't have to. You don't have to roll a perception check. You were there when he put him in his pouch. Ross, you noticed that he. Wait a second. Rhea, yeah, you notice that he has the scales in one of his pouches on his like belt. It's not completely tied. As he comes out, he says, "I am not convinced, but you showed bravery. You have the mark of the Thrall Keeper. That is to be respected. I will give you 2 pieces of advice. You should look for the truth speaker. If what you say is honest and correct, he will confirm it. His tribe was last seen heading towards the House of the Moon, a temple to their goddess. My other piece of advice: don't come to the Skonqua. We do not deal with Shtemek as softly as the Linqua. If you come, I do not guarantee your safety." And he just starts walking off. I mean, slowly, but walking off. He stops and turns. I go to Flameford, to home. I have been gone too long. He is Linqua. Linqua tradition states that he will not spend a sunrise with Skonqua. I would say that, I mean, this is something Ross could have known, but also maybe not, because, I mean, how many Skonqua camps did you go to, right? Yeah. But it's certainly something you could understand. Like, the Skonqua, the Linqua, they aren't exactly friends. The Callow Mountains are sacred grounds, so they put up with each other. They don't outright kill each other, but something like, I don't want to be here when the sun rises, you could see that. Please tell me she held up the hand. Oh man, he just starts walking off. Anyone else? Also, I will denote Flameford is where the Sun Shaman resides, the person that you have to, at the end of the day, convince. So, hmm, what are the rest of you doing? Yep, that would be Flameford, as well as Aros's mom. Mm-hmm. As well as Aros's mom. That is the and Ross, you would know this. Flameford is the encampment for the Skull and Claw. It's like their largest site. It's like Callow Mountains, but for Skull and Claw. Well, more what he said was they don't like outsiders. If you go there, he's not guaranteeing your safety. So you have several options. Yeah, you've got Shoanti in tow. You can find ways to deal with that, of course. You have teleport scrolls. You have all kinds of things. You have the House of the Moon up there, which is where he said the Linqua tribe with the Truth Speaker was supposed to head. You have a rock somewhere out in the Cinderlands. You know that from the feathers, you know that it went somewhere this way. Um, you have Cindermaw, of course, though I believe you guys wanted to go back to Calamance before attempting that. You have the Cinderlander, though at the moment, I mean, you just know that he is a thing. You don't have any other information than that. So lots of options, lots of ways you can go. You can hunt for the Cinderlander. That's obviously a thing you can do. You guys just haven't attempted anything on that grounds yet. So what you doing? What's the well? No, before we do that, is there anything immediate anyone would want to do, say that day, or immediately after leaving the Acropolis? Well, mm-hmm. I should probably denote because I happen to be a very absent-minded DM. Just so you know, Blue in particular, that wasn't forgotten. He just left. It's not. I just want to let you know because I am a bit of an airhead DM. It's not like the meal invitation was forgotten. He just left. Because there have been times where I, as a DM, are like, "Oh, right, that was a thing." No, he, like he said, he thought that you did something impressive, but he's not convinced you should be here, and he leaves. So what about anyone else? Anything you'd want to do immediately? Okay. Okay. What would you like to send to her? Yes. A minute passes, and you get the response. Iosa tightens her grip. Gray maidens are everywhere. Crimson Guard is... oh God, what would she say? Because she knows how sending works. Crimson Guard grows weaker. Stay safe. Okay. Yes, Amelia. I mean, yes, I have something planned before they go away, so yes. We can wait. Well, we can wait until they go. They don't have. Well, they probably still have like a good 2 hours left. Gotcha. All right. Anything else before I do what I have planned? Sweet. Wings, are you back? Okay. So when you guys get back to the carts and everything's kind of settling down on your shoulder, Nara says, "You and I need to talk." Gotcha. She would take a long time as if she's trying to piece together what she wants to say. And eventually she would take a deep breath, smooth out the skirt that's not really there, and say, "So, what have you pieced together already?" Anger blazes in her eyes, and it's quickly controlled. She says, "Do not be flippant or sarcastic with me, Robin. Not after what you did. I always expected you to try and betray me. I always took a certain amount of pride when you attempted it. But when you helped them slay me, I wasn't there to protect Lothran. And I lost everything because of your selfish wants." hurt me. You didn't hurt me, Robin. Everything I ever did, every army I ever rose, every pact I ever signed, every demon I ever did a deal with, every ounce of everything I was for him. And you took that from me. She sits down, all of the anger draining from her face. You didn't hurt me, Robin. You destroyed me. I hope you're happy. She looks up at you. Utter. Roll me an insight check with advantage. Mm-hmm. He is, but this is probably the only time where she has not been very good at hiding her emotions. She looks broken. She looks at you for a very long time and she whispers, I need you. I have nothing else. No one else. I know that you hate me. I didn't care. But I love you. I may not have always shown it in the way you... She kind of hesitates. We're bound, you and I. You know this, yes? Robin, I need you. That little girl is all that's left of everything I ever devoted myself to. And if she dies, then I will have lost the only spark of anything I have left. I need you, because I have no power left. Nothing but a bag of tricks. I need you to protect her from me. And if she dies, I need you to end me, because I'll have no other reason to be here. I am no longer Namara. I'm just a broken soul. She stares at you and gives a little sniff. Of course. Did you not listen to anything I said, foolish drow? That little girl is the only piece of Lothran that exists. I would give up everything to protect her. You and I, Robin, were never on opposite sides. You only thought that. Foolish Drow. Oh, all right. What would this entail for Robin specifically? Okay. Oh. Okay, so this conversation will go on a bit more. Before we do that, let me jump back to the others. um, Hi everyone. How's it going? Everyone good? All right then. Uh, well, let me jump back over then. Just one moment. I imagine myself like running between rooms. Hey everyone good? Okay, good. I'll be back. Robin takes a very long walk. Where are we going? Her eyes flash. Why? I. But. And she seems to be struggling with her thoughts. Why should I trust you? You who betrayed me, and I who's betrayed you so many times. And her form will shift back and forth between different images, perfectly recreated. People that she's made you kill, people that you cared about. And the last one, a face you've almost forgotten, a wood elf with blonde hair. She stands in front of you with a softer voice. The second I let you go, you'll leave me. You'll leave me because you feel that I have wronged you. Roll me a persuasion check with advantage because you have amazing leverage at the moment. Go, Robin! Go, Robin! Oh. Roll with advantage again. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh. Oh man. So she looks at you and transforms back into Namara. I'm sorry, Robin. I don't trust you enough yet. But you are right. This is for her. I will release my bond if you do something for me. A simple rune I want you to etch on your bone. I will show you. It will force you to keep that promise to me, or cause you enormous pain. That item, and you'll know it when you see it, you must keep it. Do that. Promise that. Swear that on your bone. And I will give up the Revenant. And we will try friendship. And she will, like, draw it in the sand. It's very complex. It's basically like a, well, you know, all the runes in your bones are like permanent warding or binding spells. Roll me an Arcana check. Oh yeah, okay. It's like the equivalent of a warding spell in the sense that if a certain condition is met, that condition obviously being you do not keep whatever this item is, right? The warding will be unleashed upon you and you will suffer damage. But you do know it's a one-time thing. It's not like a permanent thing. It is if you don't do this, there will be a very painful consequence, but that is it. As you finish scratching out the rune, she says, I'm sorry, Robin. I've lost everything. I can't risk losing you too. And as you finish that, you feel a magical bond break. You can see Namara, but you can no longer feel her presence the way you once did. You feel empty, hollow, without purpose, and you know that you must correct this very quickly. As a revenant without a bond is not a revenant that lasts long. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, where's Isolanda right now? Um, I'd say definitely with Shala, maybe with Miri. Who could say? Um, well, I could say anyone could be there if they want, but I think at this moment in time, Shala would be sitting with Isolanda practicing their instruments and giggling. Okay. Okay. You guys see Robin walking up. Blood seeping down. Where would you have drawn it? Like on your forearm or like on the left buttocks? Gotcha. All right. So you see blood seeping, like his shirt stained. He seems fine though. Yeah, that's true. You know what? I think only Murray. Hang on a second. You're the only one with crazy passive perception. Um. Oh, actually, both of you only have a 19. So no, you don't notice anything. I thought it was higher than that for some reason. You see Robin walking back up, Namara floating quietly behind him. By the way, she has completely collected herself again during the walk. Mm-hmm. Shala would look at you and go, of course. Is everything all right? And she'll look at Namara. I don't, I don't understand. You're leaving? So, I would be linked to you? She looks around. Shala looks completely stunned and looks at Robin. Robin, are you sure that's. I mean. Shala's eyes widen. What about the rest of you? That's right, Amelia's not there. All right, Murray. I need to change the music. This is not fitting music. Let's just stop that and let's go to something a bit more fitting. I was half tempted too. What are you trying to insight, Murray? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, but I mean, so I'm gonna need something more specific. Insight is your ability to read a person. What are you trying? Who are you reading, and what are you trying to gain from them? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. And this is one thing I have to keep in mind. Insight doesn't give you that kind of information. Insight would give you information to, are they behaving weird? Are they possibly lying to you? Are they hiding something? Yeah. I mean, his mannerisms are his own. He's not walking weird or talking un-Robin like. He seems very driven. I think that's safe to say, White Rings. Yes. But determined. But otherwise, and same for you, Ross. There definitely seems to be urgency to his actions, but he's trying to be gentle. That's not that you can tell. I mean, he doesn't have a concealed dagger, or he's not acting in a manner that denotes combat or danger. No. Yeah. It, it seems. I would say it seems serious because Robin is acting with purpose. But he doesn't seem to be threatening in any way. In fact, he is looking like he's doing everything he can to be um, non-threatening. Why? Why is anyone else hearing like two musics? Yeah, I'm just gonna restart that. um, so, does anyone say or do anything other than just roll the insight checks? Oh, hey, you're absolutely correct. Thank you. That's smart. I don't have that. Yeah. So does anyone react or do anything so far? What's a revenant? Like Edgar. Oh, oh, yes, please. Can you? You too, Murray? Can you? She will look at you. Um, oh my god. She will look at you, and her eyes will widen a little bit, and then narrow, and then she goes, Why? Why do you seek? What am I to you? She looks at you. And will you still feel that way 3 lifetimes from now? She has a much more serious look on her face with that nat 20 wisdom save check. She goes, I accept, Robin. But you need more scarves than just me. She shakes her head. No. And she stares at you for a very long time. And she goes, this face. I know this face. Like mine, but not. Robin, I am not your priority. And she's speaking more eloquently than usual. Everyone, all our family must be. If we lose them, I can't. I can't be put in front of everyone else. She will walk up to you and say, I would like to be linked to you, this life or the next. But I want so many scarves. What do I do? Namara looks directly at you and says, she's offering. You must accept. And she'll look up and she'll raise her voice and say, understand, in case any of you are having second thoughts, his revenant link with me has been broken. If he does not find another, he will waste away, as at the moment he has no purpose. And she draws a hand across Robin's cheek, and Robin always needs a purpose. She's looking at you like, what do I do? She looks at Ross, shakes her head. No. No, I don't want you hurt because of me. She... Mm-hmm. She shakes her head. No. No. I'm free. Murray, you said I'm free to choose what I want. I don't want you hurt. Any of you. And she's getting very emotional. You said I have the freedom to choose. Right? She's looking at Murray. She nods. And she looks at Ross. No. Then I choose. You, all of you. I want you all to be scarves. And she'll step up to Robin. I do not accept. I will not be linked to you so that you can protect me from anything. I will be linked to you so that you can be with me. That's my choice. If there's danger, Robin, I protect you, you protect me. It's just a necessary. But it's not the reason. Promise me. Promise me. Let me roll. I really need to make like a character sheet for her. She's a non-combatant, but... Did that roll? Oh my god, ISO. She looks at you and your obvious confusion and emotion, and she still has this very serious look on her face. Do you understand? I want to be linked to you in this life and the next, so that you will always be near if I need you. But not so that you can be hurt because of me, but because you want to be near me. No. We can do this. She is rolling her eyes like, oh my god. And she goes, it's simple, actually. The arcane energy is already inside you. You simply have to drink each other's blood. So does Iso. And Shala is like kneels down next to Iso and she goes, Iso, are you okay? Are you sure? And Iso will pause and look at Shala and hug her very tightly. We'll do this next. And Shala shakes her head. No, it won't be the same. And like you can see Iso like hugs her tighter. We'll do this next. And then she'll take the dagger and cut open her hand. And she'll hold her hand up to Robin. She will drink from your blood. It takes a few moments, and that pit of nothingness is filled with a feeling of Iso, much like the feeling of Namara used to be. And then Iso will hug you tightly and turn to Shala and offer her hand. And Shala looks very confused. Not confused, but worried, but looks into Iso's eyes and then takes a dagger and does the same and follows the same thing that Iso just did with Robin. And then Iso will walk over to Aras. And I'll just speed this up a little bit. She's going to... She'll nod. Scarves. And you do the ritual, and then she will go to Rhea. Will you be my scarf? And she like looks confused and looks over at Murray like, uh, uh. Yeah, Rhea was never there for that conversation. Shala will bend down and whisper in Rhea's ear. We were taught from the time we were very young that friends are meant to be used and abandoned. As I grew older, I understood there were other uses for it, but at her age, maybe it's best not to use that word, to make another. Shala will lean back in, even closer. We're not whatever Robin is, but Iso's saying that she wants to have the same connection. She'll hand you hers and very close to your ear say, "It means nothing, but it means everything to her." Shala will give you a big wet kiss on the cheek. And you will share. And then Iso will go to Muri and offer up her hand. And actually kind of smile. I hope your beak's not too sharp. And you share in the ritual. And once she has done that, she will nod and close her eyes and then kind of open them and say, "Mary, I'm sorry to trouble you, but could you... It actually hurts really badly." And she holds up her hand again. Okay. On everyone's hands. Oh my god. All right. Oh, no, thank you for reminding me. Airhead DM, completely forgot. No, after she goes to Murray, before she would have asked for healing, she would just, without a word, start walking towards the cart. Amelia, Iso would quietly open the door and walk up. "Amelia, will you be my scarf?" And she holds her bloody hand up towards you. "My knife? Do you need to use it too?" And she'll hold it out towards you. "No, we're sharing blood. To be scarfs. To be bonded. All of us have. I want you too. To always be connected. To be near me." Robin wanted to be connected to me, to feel where I am, and and this is how it was done. But I chose not to, unless it was so that we could all be together. So we all did it, Robin and Ross and Rhea and Shala and Murray and you too. And you hear a laugh behind you. It won't work. Robin's a revenant, that makes sense. It won't matter to you. And Iso just looks at you. Please. Oh, oh, her brain is just gone. Uh huh. Oof. Mm hmm. With Edgar on her shoulder. She's just like blood dripping on the floor as she holds her hand out towards you. You drink mine and I drink yours, and then we're bonded. And there's another laugh behind you. Give me a second here. Oh, of course, that's the best time to fail. The laugh behind you makes her wince. And she looks at him and then she looks at you. Right? No, he's like laughing his ass off 3 feet away. I'm sorry, Iso. She said no. Mm-hmm. And she'll do the same. And then she will nod and hug you very tightly. And then leave the cart and go back to her Miri. And I think at this time, a little lightheaded because this is getting a lot of blood. It's dripping a little bit. She's a very small child. Miri, you do the healing word. Yeah. We'll just say more than enough to heal a cut on a hand. Yeah, for everyone. And get her blood back. Oh, hey, no, cat. That's a no. No, 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 no. That's new. Don't you scratch that. Come over here and scratch this thing. This is what I bought that for. There you go. I'm sorry, where was I? I believe it was a zombie army is where we were. Um, so with that, my scene's done. Anything else you guys want to do before we move on? Okay. Um, um, about 10 minutes later, Miri you would hear, and Robin you'd probably hear through Edgar. I can feel him. He's that way. It's so weird, Miri. She nods. I've been alone before. When I messed up. When I wasn't fast enough. They would keep me alone for days. I hated it. But I don't think I would feel that anymore. She nods. Free to choose. You're not protecting me. You're being my scarf. She nods. And I think she probably go to sleep. She's had a very busy day, full of adventure and blood loss. All right. So we're going to give you all a long rest. Sure, sure. No, it's fine. By all means. None of the NPCs. At least they'd be like asleep or doing other things. I'm not eating, you're eating. What? No, they're gone. They're gone. He is sleeping fitfully, mumbling incoherently about visions and spirits. Oh, wait, no. No, that's right. He can't talk. Mumbling incoherently about whatever it is he's dreaming about. That's right. I forgot how bad Feeble Mind is. It's bad. Okay. So, with that, you all take a long rest, and I need you guys to step back for a second and figure out what your next move is. You've got a Shawanti in tow who certainly probably would not survive very long out here in the Cinderlands. You've got several destinations. What you doing? What you doing? I mean, you could bring him with you, probably keep him safe somewhat, but he is in a bad way. What's the plan? Well, I will point out that there is another tribe of Linqua you were just told about. You could try to go there, or you can go back to the Calamounds. You've never met this other tribe, so you don't know how receptive they will be if Thousand Bones is not there. But they are closer. But you also have other things that can help you. Sorry, yes? No time. Just, he said before you go to Cinema's grounds. That's all he said. Hmm. He wanted to see Ross one last time before she died. Okay, does that sound like a plan of action to everyone? Gotcha. Moving on to the House of the Moon. So the next morning, you guys make your way out. So the House of the Moon is about, give me a second here, oh, a good 20 miles or so from the Acropolis of the Thrall Keeper. So not that far, actually. It's still in the Cinderlands. That's still at least a day's journey. So, um, Aras, no, Rhea, Could you do me a favor and roll 2d100s, please? Hmm? Yes, go ahead and do d4 for the haunts, please. All right, give me a second here. There we go. What did you roll? Okay. Give me a second here. Roll me 2d6, please. Okay. So, you guys begin your trip towards the House of the Moon. The slowing is a bit, the going is a bit slow as the wind picks up and creates a bit of a sandstorm. You can see where you're going, but the sand is stinging you and makes traveling slowed. You are making your way in your carts, and around midday, you are in the height of the sandstorm, and all of a sudden you hear a loud call. Sounds like not a roar, but like a bleat, a very large, loud bleat. Mm-hmm. Well, at the moment, your carts are going like 5 miles an hour. They're not traveling very quickly. Yeah, by all means, you can roll. Anyone who'd like to can. Well, I'd say one person roll a nature roll with advantage from aid from the others. Uh huh. Yeah, sure. It's an ability check. Oh wow. 27. Aras, you're familiar with this sound. It's the sound of an auroch. Aurochs are very large, almost elk or ox-like creatures that live very happily in the desert. You know that they can be incredibly aggressive if they feel their territory has been impeded, and they always hunt in herds or travel in herds. Yeah, I'll let you know. As the speed you're moving, you are not outrunning them. They live here. Your wagons do not. If they choose to attack, they will catch you. Roll me a survival check. Someone with advantage, as the group would be helping. Okay. You look around and you don't see any caves or anything of that nature. You do see a structure of like high stones. Looks like perhaps it was once a ruin or a building of some kind that has now collapsed due to time. But there is no ceiling to it, but there are enough walls that it might be able to block at least enough of the wind so that you can see what you're doing unimpeded and possibly even corral them or keep them from surrounding you or whatever they would do. Not a cave, but it's not nothing. Mm-hmm. Okay. So basically, a 15-foot rock is a lot smaller than a normal rock, but still looks just like one. And let's see, does it have the ability to move? Let's see, its visuals isn't accompanied by sound, smell, or sensory effects. You can cause it to move. Yeah, so you can make it move. You can make it look and appear and kind of swoop, right? Yeah, gotcha. All right. Um, Give me a second here. Hmm. So you make the rock appear above you and swoop down towards the Aurochs as they start charging you. And the lead Auroch peels off with a bleat and runs to the left, and all the others swerve around to follow the leader. And they charge off into the dust cloud. As a rock is fucking terrifying, even if only 15 feet wide. Well done. You prevented yourself from having to fight 10 of them. Just kidding, they're back. No, sorry, they're gone. No, so you guys take shelter in that ruin? Okay. They seem to have been adequately driven off. You don't see them again. For the time being, and it takes several hours, but the sandstorm starts to die down, and you are able to move at a much quicker pace. All right. Can you all give me a 5-minute break as I prepare something, and roll me d20s when you get back. Well, it's a complicated thing because I will give Ross this. I will give Ross this. Her it's a complicated thing because her insight check did show that there was something that caused Krojan a little bit of unease. Certainly didn't seem to be those gems though. Oh my god. That's a lot of conditions. Oh man. I just love the next time you guys take Triana. So like, can I take this one or not? A Ross takes something and someone just like like points like ah. I get where Ross was coming from. I understand the thought. Mm-hmm. I understand the other side too. Like, do the Shawanti care if you pillage the place of their slave keepers? I don't know. I know. Ria was like, but you burned down a house. A house. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Thank you for the right. Oh, we don't do alignments in this game. Um, welcome back, everyone. I do see roll 20s for everyone. Good, good, good. So you are able to make your way towards the Moon Temple. The going is a lot easier. That is not at all what I thought that would be. I just said it's an abandoned windmill. I thought that would be nice ambient wind sounds, not creepy gothic cathedral sounds. Yeah. I mean, point. We'll just do this one. Yes. Don Quixote charged the windmill, yes. You approach the House of the Moon. I would allow anyone with proficiency in religion to roll me a knowledge check. Ross, you could do so with or without proficiency, as you have lived here. I mean, not there specifically. I mean, in the Cinderlands. Nicely done. I know. All right, that's true. But if you ever need to feel better, look at Robin's persuasion rolls earlier this session. Oh my god. Burn through two inspirations with advantage, and all of them were just worse than the last. I'm so sorry, Wings. All right. Aras. You know that the House of the Moon is a temple to Desna. that is older than the Thessalonian Empire. As the worship of Desna is older than any of the Rune Lords. History of the Shoanti state that the original Temple of the Moon, or House of the Moon, was torn down by the Thessalonians. However, in the Age of Darkness that followed their fall, and now we know why they fell, a new House of the Moon was mysteriously resurrected or built atop the old ruins and provided the people that would one day become the Lin Kuo a place of refuge during a very dark time. And because of this, the House of the Moon, as a temple to Desna, has become a cornerstone of Shoanti culture. It is a place that Shoanti will travel to, tribes will travel to, usually at least once a year. And you've never been there because it wasn't, well, how long did you live with the Shoanti? Okay, then you would have gone there. You've never been inside it, but you have traveled to it. You're familiar enough with it. It's a very beautiful white marble and gold temple devoted to Desna. You would also know that, typically speaking, the tribes would arrive one at a time and would treat it almost like the Callow Mounds in the sense that grievances were supposed to be put aside, though only the Lin Kuo tend to come here, so grievances are few and far between. That is what you know. You are more than welcome to pass that information on if you like. Out of curiosity, is anyone hearing music? Weird. I'm hearing nothing. Okay, so you did hear it. I'm not hearing it. That's fine. That's fine. As long as you're hearing it, that's what matters. As you guys approach the Temple of the Moon, you get fairly close to within a mile or so, and you don't see any Lin Kuo tribes around. And you do note that Krojin said that they were traveling towards it, and perhaps they haven't gotten there yet, you're not sure. Though, when you do approach, eventually, as you get closer to it, you see 4 figures stand out in front of you some distance off. It's hard to tell too much about them from a distance, but they seem to be standing there in front of your path. Definitely. Just statues. The figures seem to converge and then begin to walk towards you. And what you see walking towards you are 4 Shoanti females who not only look to be the same age, but they actually look identical. And it's not putting the token. Oh, there it is. Okay. It's showing for you, just not for me. That's fine. They are shaved, like all Shoanti. They wear blue kind of hide armor and carry on their belts what are called star knives. Ross, you would know these. They are knives held by Lin Kuo moon maidens. Moon maidens are devotees of Desna and protectors of the Lin Kuo who typically prefer to hunt at night. They approach you, and one will walk up closer to you and stop about 10 feet away and say, in common, but very kind of broken, "This is sacred ground, not a place for shemiks, whether they speak our tongue or not. Acropolis. All four of their eyes widen. You have the mark of a Thrall keeper. Why? And this is coming from one of the ones further back. Would Shemek seek the Thrall keeper's mark? What is it mean to you? The one in front goes back to the other three, and they begin speaking quietly. Aras, and anyone else who can understand Shawanti, roll me a perception check. You could. Do you want to? I know. Oh boy. And they talk about stuff. You most certainly could if you'd like to. Oh boy. You would re-roll it with well, it wouldn't be with advantage anyway. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. After some time, they come back and they walk slightly closer. And again, one of them approaches you and says, "My name is Takrakaya. These are my sisters. Ikalai," and one of them nods. "Meva," another one nods. "Yandri," and the fourth one nods. "We are here to clear the Temple of the Moon for the others. The first tribe of the Linqua is always responsible for ensuring that the temple is safe for the other tribes. But we have a problem as such. If you are truly seeking our aid, perhaps you could help us. It seems that the temple has become home to Arhashnik, a red reaver. Anyone who would like to can roll me a nature check. Ooh. That's mean. Alright, who got what? Mary, you've heard of red reavers. They are magical beasts. They're fairly rare, but they are large and they are very dangerous. Aras and Amelia and Ria, you have also heard of red reavers. They tend to be very large, incredibly dangerous monstrosities. They tend to hunt and live alone unless they're trying to mate. And they are very vicious. They don't have any magical spells that you're aware of, but they are incredibly deadly. No. Home to a Red Reaver. And Tekrakai says, "We are not strong enough to kill it. We tried and spent many spells healing. Perhaps if you are strong enough to earn the mark of the Thrall Keeper, you could help. Perhaps." "No, we have not attempted for some days, but the tribe is expected here in a week's time, or less. We are running out of time, and if we do not make the temple safe, it will not look good on us." And she kind of shrugs sheepishly. "I am uncertain if it dishonors us asking for help, but if you are attempting to earn the respect of the Sharwanti, then perhaps this is just another test. Yes?" She spits on the ground. "Red Reavers are terrible monsters. The world is better off without them. If you join us, perhaps together we can kill it." "Excellent. How do you say? Good. Then we will hunt this night. You are welcome to share our camp. Until then." And they start walking off back towards the direction they came. I assume you guys go the other direction. I'm sorry, Robin. You guys, like a certain Kinku we know. They guide you back to a small camp with one yurt and a campfire. But it's big enough for you guys to draw up your wagons, and it's only maybe 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So you would have to wait a good 4 hours or so, as they only and they would say this: "We, the Moon Maidens, we only hunt at night under the moon, under Desna." And they will offer their camp to you. And their demeanor has very much changed from untrusting and suspicious to, oh fuck, they might really save our asses. And their demeanor has quickly changed to a much more friendly one as you all sit around the fire. Um, I assume you guys join them at the fire, yes? All right. Well, then, in the time you spent with them, you learn quite a bit about them, actually. Um, we'll just start from the youngest to the oldest, even though by youngest we're talking minutes. Um, these 4 sisters all come from a Linqua tribe that Thousand Bones is not a part of. Their mother was late blooming in the child department. She had them when she was older, but was still a very loving mother and was a moon maiden herself, which is one of the reasons why she had children so late. And all 4 of the sisters swore to become moon maidens like their mother. Yandri, the youngest one, is very eager to learn everything she can about Shemek. She seems to have a bit of a bubbly personality. She knows very little common. It's broken. For example, she would go to Mwiri and she'd be, "What? You are what?" Kadal. She nods. May I, uh, have? And she points to like one of your feathers. Her eyes light up and she smiles. Oh, ah, you are thank. Um, and she goes on like this. She spends time with Flack. Apparently, she's never seen a goblin before. Many Shawanti have, but this Yandri has not. She seems by far to be the most open and outgoing, which is a little sad because she's also the worst at speaking common. Lots of hand gestures. Oh, yes? Oh my god. Okay. So the second you even say something to her in Shawanti, right? Oh my. Oh, you can speak our tongue. Oh, that's amazing. I didn't think anyone could. Well, the dwarf could. I was going to ask her how she knew, but oh my gosh, that's amazing. My name's Yandri. I am the youngest, and they always make fun of me for it, but I'm only younger by like 2 minutes. I want to be one of the best moon maidens in the world. I worship Desna. Do you know who Desna is? A paladin? What's a paladin? I'm a warrior who follows a god. Oh, we're the same. You're a moon maiden. I'm a paladin. Who is Shellen? Oh. Yandre would spend a lot of time listening and comparing to Desna, and you find that, not that Rhea didn't already know this, those two gods would get along splendidly. I mean, Desna's more about journeys, but it's more about the enjoyment, the love of the journey. So those two gods are very close in some regards. Um, so that's Yandri. Maeva is very quiet. She sits there by herself. She is pleasant to anyone that speaks to her. She seems to have a fairly strong grasp of common. If anyone does ask her anything, she will respond politely and courteously, but she is very, very quiet. She keeps her hands folded on her lap, and she simply seems to observe you. She's not ignoring anyone, she's watching everyone, but not in a suspicious way, just in a quiet, observant way. Um, and actually, Yandri would Rhea, because she can speak, would say, uh, oh, Mava, what was that one time when? Oh, she doesn't really talk. I mean, she's very quiet. She doesn't talk unless she really has something important to say, or unless she's trying to win a boy over. She really likes some of the boys in the tribe, but she's very sweet. She's just not very talkative. And Ikalai, uh, Eagle Eye would go to, oh boy, everyone roll. We'll say everyone but Rhea. Roll me a d20 because Rhea is currently taken. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. Um. Very nice. Ekalai would come up to Aras very quickly. You, and actually, she would say in Shawanti, "You speak our language." I see. D- ah, you are not familiar with the graces of Desna, then. Please, have a seat. And she sits down and motions for you to sit. It is my dream to spread the word of Desna as far as I can. You said that you are somewhat familiar with her. She nods. This makes sense. Desna values freedom, and freedom and arrogance often walk side by side, as the arrogant and confident have the will to be free. Perhaps she chose you for the very arrogance you speak of so blatantly. It is a holy place, one that we must cleanse of the evil within. It has sheltered my people, and it will shelter them again, in Desna's name. You do not speak it with confidence. How long have you followed Desna? Mm-hmm. A month? Give or take. Yeah, basically a month and a week, because most of that's been traveling here. She nods. She nods. Yes. To be a devotee of Desna is to always be moving, in one way or another. You know, the great goddess is the only one of all the deities that does not have her own realm. Instead, she eternally wanders from one place to the next. She shrugs. The journey can take many forms. For some, it is a physical one, to always be moving, always seeking new horizons. For others, it is a personal one, to journey to better yourself, to change, to never stagnate. And for others, it is a journey to move others, to teach them to be better and different. All of these are journeys, no? Mine, she nods, mine is of the physical. I seek to explore and spread the word of Desna with my sisters, though I am afraid they are not as devout as I am. She shrugs. It is all right. They are my sisters, and I love them. I will be devout for them. She nods and begins to instruct you on Desna. Woot woot. I would say that a lot of this is stuff that Aras has heard before and knows, but There's a difference between having read it in a book somewhere and hearing someone who's a true believer of Desna explain it in their own words. That Desna, to be a worshipper of Desna, is to value freedom and journeys of all kinds, to um, understand that there is a difference between kindness and foolishness, to oppose restrictions that you do not rightfully choose. To hear her speak of it, I would say is impactful on you, Ross, probably, because it's not reading it from a book. And it's very clear she is truly a believer in what she says. So Tekrakai, the oldest of them, would sit and play basically hostess, explaining. She explains much of her sisters and where they came from, and that part of it. And is there anyone who would? So obviously, like Ria's talking with Yandri, Aras is talking with Ikalai. Is there anyone who would be engaging Tekrakai directly? Man, it would have been funny if actually I kind of like that she got a Ross, but imagine if she started trying to preach to like Amelia. Have you heard of the wonders of Desna? Would anyone be engaging with Tekrakai? Blue. And now I am blue. Blue. Oh, internet problems. All right. Until she is back and good. Anyone other than Blue? No? Okay. Then just in general, she would be polite, play hostess. It's clear that the other sisters look up to her. It's also clear that she may not be the most comfortable with that. The burden of leadership rests heavy on the shoulders, so to speak. Blue, what'd you miss? Oh, okay. So Aras is in Sunday school. And Tekrakai is playing hostess more in general. She explains who her sisters are. I explain that it's clear that her sisters look up to her and like as a leader, and that she may not be the most comfortable with that, though she doesn't say anything. It's more in her mannerisms. And I was asking if any of the characters would engage her directly in conversation. Otherwise, it was just more very polite hostess. Just make sure everyone's taken care of and explain what she can. Yeah, yes, she does. It's a little broken, but she speaks it all right. She was the one that spoke to you guys at first. Tekrakai would stand up and say, "It is the duty of the host to feed the guest. I must admit, though," and she looks around at the other three sisters, "we are not good at cooking as such. Perhaps I could cook and you could lend your knowledge." And thus would begin kind of an awkward thing where Miri is cooking dinner through Tekrakai, as Tekrakai insists on being the one to do everything because she is making dinner for her guest, even though really Miri's calling all the dinner shots. And it's like a constant thing of, Miri, with your time with her, you note that she is very capable. She has drive, but her confidence seems shaken. Roll me an insight check. Okay. Her confidence seems shaken. She seems to glance to you too often when she shouldn't need to. It becomes slowly clear to you as you cook dinner with her. This encounter with the Red Reaver and the failure has shaken her, and perhaps given her reason to doubt her abilities as a leader of her sisters, of the Moon Maidens. She hides it well, but that kind of doubt seeps into everything. But she will roll a cooking check, which I don't even know what that would be. I'm guessing wisdom. She's going to do it with advantage because of aid. And lucky for us, she has a +5 to her wisdom save. That's a save. That's not a skill check. Never mind. But with advantage, 18's not bad. Despite her unease and her constant need for reassurance, she does a wonderful job cooking. ... What is she cooking? No, you're telling her everything to do. She's just doing it. Yeah, it's like Murray, you're the one cooking. It's her hands. Okay, so a Shawanti dish. Gotcha. Okay. And she does an amazing job of it. So as evening falls, you all sit around the fire as Tekra Kai passes out. Oh, I rolled the wrong wisdom ability, didn't I? Hey guys, the Red Reaver made you dinner. How awesome is that? Um, lucky for lucky for us, they have a similar wisdom score, so it's fine. Red Reaver stomps out, makes dinner, huffs, marches back into temple. Wants to make sure his meal is fed. No, she feeds you all, and as you all sit down to have dinner, your haunts come back. Oh, uh, so as you start to excuse yourself, Yandri would say in Shawanti, which only two people understand, "Oh, you're not going to stay? We were going to tell stories." "Oh, you eat here. Give story." I I am sorry. Oh. Oh. And then like in Shawanti she quietly says, "She thinks I am sorry. Oh, have I offended her?" Yeah, like she seems to have like she deflates in on herself, and you kind of escape freely. Rhea, there's clearly a communication problem. She looks up, and the others, Marie Paula sits next to you. Robin, Namara appears next to you, and as this is the first night since she sees you, and a sense of relief washes over her face. Mm-hmm. Namara would actually say, Robin, can I speak with you for a moment? Uh, would just go a little ways off, and she would turn and say, This this is difficult. I I I can't believe I'm saying this. This is stupid. You're a stupid, stupid drow. You know that? I I couldn't feel you at all. It was lonely. She nods. She looks at you, and her eyes suddenly flash. Don't pity me. Just understand that the sacrifice I am making, and that Robin, you know you have always known where my loyalties lie, but I would take comfort in your presence. That is all, stupid drow. She was just about to say something along those lines. She will roll her eyes and nod as Robin knows her way too well. So they return shortly. It's only like 30 seconds and then they're back. Um, Aras, your father arrives behind you and gives a sigh and says quite loudly, Oh, great. More of them. How long do you really intend to play this foolish game? attempting to earn the respect of savages instead of solving the real problem, who's sitting back in Corvosa. The sisters kind of like look at each other. You would know that your father speaks Elvish, yes. He scoffs and says, "Don't try to speak like a politician to me. I've played that game since before you were born. Yes, getting aid of others is always wise, if they are worth getting aid from. Trust me when I tell you, they are savages. They cannot accept our ways. They do not even understand the most basic of magical principles, let alone be able to build or maintain a society of any worth. And while you are out here playing with these desert people..." And by the way, this is all in common. Mm-hmm. Yes, it does. And he just stares directly at you. Does that surprise you? Did you think there'd be any hesitation? I know what you are, I always have. Oh, you're not part Shawanti then? I understand your attachment to these people, but my rules have built cities and civilizations. Their rules have them eating off the dirt. No, your demon got me killed. He raised an eyebrow. It hunts you. Are you not willing to take responsibility for it? Yes, I know, you had no choice. Many times in life, we don't have a choice. You can pawn it off on someone else if you wish. It won't change what's coming. He shrugs. I have told you all I know. I placed that thing in your head to hide you. It is not as if the thing that killed me was very chatty. I would say you're a fool, but I wouldn't necessarily say I was surprised. I hope that you choose a better path. I hope that you have a better life. But I've been disappointed before. I'm used to it. All right. I mean, you're not wrong. We're gonna go over to Amelia. Actually, no, we're not. Aras, your father will float towards you and say, "This is becoming absurd. While you play games here in the desert, your city, my city, is being overtaken. Your own people need your help. Or are you going to abandon them all again?" Aras, roll me a wisdom saving throw. Mm-hmm. Not enough. Aras, whether... No, I assume this is always going to be... I don't need to even ask. I know Aras well enough. You are gripped with an unbearable amount of guilt for abandonment, a sensation you are very familiar with, as you felt it greatly the night you ran, right? Imagine that feeling, but amplified through magic. It tears through your body. There is devastating guilt, crippling you, giving you 15 points of psychic damage. As from Aras's point of view, whether she understands this is magic or not, her father's words hit her to the core and shake her. Everywhere else, you see that whatever her father said to her really hit her. Aras starts shaking, her eyes grow wide. She looks not quite terrified, but mortified. Muri, there is no physical damage to her, but Aras has suddenly gotten bleach white and looks utterly mortified. As if you had just told someone that they murdered a child. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of... that look, that sensation. No, that's the point of psychic damage. You would not know psychic damage when you see it. Because you can't see it. Okay. It takes many minutes to recover from this. Roll me an Arcana check. Okay. As you start to try and recover from it, you're able to kind of understand this must have been a magical effect. You've processed these feelings. And while they still haunt you, not like this, right? So at first, maybe, and again, I don't want to tell Aras how she felt, but at first maybe it was hard to separate the two. But as you start to calm down, you start to go, oh, this must have been amplified. Maybe this grabbed something that was within me and turned it on. Maybe this was some sort of attack, but this must have been at least part of the spell. The problem is, Aras, you're also pretty sure not all of it was the spell. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where we should probably end it for the night. I will pick up next session. I have some stuff to do before we continue on to the temple. This will give you guys opportunity to rest, yourselves before you face the Red Reaver. And we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye, everyone.